Hi everyone, this is Richard from your resource team at ADS with another virtual class for you. Thanks everybody for joining once again. Today we're going to be talking about sleep hygiene. So at a basic level, we're just talking about how well are you sleeping. We thought this might be a good one, good class to do right now, seeing as summer is winding down and fall is upon us. And a lot of people are going to be returning to day program in the fall. Also, a lot of kids are getting back to school and things like that. So our sleep patterns are changing, right? So maybe over the summer, as we're home, we're allowed to kind of sleep in as much as we want. And, there's not a lot of pressure for us to get up in the day and have a real strict sleep routine. But now, as we're getting back into different expectations, we gotta change our sleep routines and learn to function properly with some good sleep. So we thought this might be a good reminder for some of you guys on how to go about getting a good night's sleep and how to tackle your day in a positive way every day. So that's our class about sleep hygiene. Let's see what it's all about, eh? All right, so what is sleep hygiene? So basically, sleep hygiene is the term used to describe good sleep habits, right? So if you have good sleep habits, if you're getting a good night's sleep every night, you have enough energy to go about your business throughout the day, right? We would say you have pretty good sleep hygiene, right? But if you find yourself that you're constantly tired and you're not getting enough sleep and you have trouble falling asleep, we would say you have bad sleep hygiene, right? So it's basically sleep health, right? All right, so sleep is very important for our bodies, right? So if we're active throughout the day, sleep is kind of the time where our body recovers from all the activities that we did during the day. It kind of recovers, the muscles recover, and it helps, gives us energy to tackle the next day. All right, sleep is also good for our stress. So just as our bodies kind of recover while we're sleeping, our mind does as well, right? So all kind of the stress and the things that our mind is doing, it's kind of a time for our mind to take a break and to decompress, and this will help us deal with stress, right? Our mind and body is always very much related. So if they're working properly, we're feeling better and we're able to tackle the world better, right? So if you're feeling tired, your day's probably going to be more stressful, right? Because the little things that would not normally irritate you that much are going to irritate you that much more, which is going to increase your stress level, right? So basically, I think we all know this, but if you get a good night's sleep, you're not gonna be as irritable and you're not gonna be as stressed out. So sleep is very important in a nutshell for our bodies and for our minds, and to keep us able to handle stress in a functional way. All right, so now we're gonna move into some sleep hygiene tips. All right, so we suggest you get regular sleep. All right, so we're going to suggest that you try and go to bed and get up around the same time every day. And this is even on weekends and days off. I know this is a struggle for some of us. I know often, you might, go to work or program and you only had maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep and you keep putting it off and you're like, I'm pretty tired, but I'll catch up on the weekend, and then the weekend comes along and maybe you stay up late or you just sleep in till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, right? And, a lot of people do this. I know I was guilty of this in my younger days as well, but it's not healthy for you, and you shouldn't do it. Okay? All right. So if you can get yourself into a proper sleep routine, this will help you feel better, and it'll help your body get into a routine. So your body knows what to expect, right? So if you get into a routine, say, where you go to bed at 10 o'clock every day and get up at 7 a.m. every day, I think that's probably a fairly standard routine, right? It'll get to the point, if you do this every day, even on the weekends when you don't have to, eventually your body's just going to get used to that, and that's what it's going to want to do, right? So, come 10 o'clock, your body's going to be tired regardless of everything else, right? So, and that's going to be part of the battle. That you don't have to fight. So your body's tired and ready to sleep at 10, so you have to do much less, and you'll get a much better sleep that way. Yeah. All right, so some more sleep hygiene tips. Sleep when sleepy. Only try to sleep when you actually feel tired or sleepy, rather than spending too much time awake in bed. All right, so here's part of the trick too, right? So you want to be tired when it's bedtime for you, right? So when it's the time that you want to go to bed, you want to be tired and ready for bed, right? So nothing's worse than, trying to go to sleep, but you're not tired, right? And if you're not tired and ready for sleep, you're probably not going to go to sleep. So it's not going to be a good experience for you. So you want to make sure that you're sleepy when you're actually going to sleep. All right, so another tip for you. All right, get up and try again. All right, so let's say you're trying to sleep, you're just laying awake in bed thinking about sleeping and it's not working, right? So if you've been laying in bed for 20 minutes or more, get up and do something calming or boring until you feel sleepy. Then try to return to bed, right? So just basically what I'm saying is break things up, right? If you're just laying in bed trying to sleep, thinking about sleep, trying to force yourself to sleep, it often doesn't work. All right, so maybe just change it up and get up, do something for 20 minutes or more, get up and do something else, okay? Something that'll try and get you to be sleepy. All right, you could try sitting quietly on the couch or bed with the lights off. You could read something you find boring. This is something that I'll often do if I can't sleep. I'll find the book I'm reading and just read and read and read until my brain is just tired, and then I'll fall asleep. Probably nothing too exciting, it says, something boring. I don't know, maybe like a tax return or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, nothing too exciting, I guess. The main thing is to avoid anything stimulating with lots of light or anything you get excited about. So this would include TV, movies, video games. I know often, sometimes if you can't sleep, you're tempted to turn the TV on and see what's on TV, but then you'll get sucked into a show or a movie that's on, right? So then it's another hour and a half, and all of these things are designed to stimulate you and to get you interested in them, which is the exact opposite of what you want, right? You want to be, less stimulated. You want to be tired, right? Yeah, same thing. Movies, I think one of the worst things you could probably do would be to hop on Netflix and maybe pick out a movie or a TV series, right? And you're trying to sleep, but all of a sudden you're 4 games into Game of Thrones, and your alarm is going off in an hour, so that's not great. Video games might even be the worst thing to do, right? Because there's something you have to actually actively participate in as opposed to TV or movies. So they're going to stimulate you, and you're probably not going to get a good sleep. You're just gonna be awake for a few more hours than you normally would. All right, so another tip for you. Okay, avoid caffeine and nicotine. So this is your coffee and cigarettes. They're not your friends when you're trying to get a good sleep. It's recommended that you don't have any caffeine or nicotine 4 to 6 hours before bed. And the reason for this is that these substances, they are stimulants, and they will keep you energized. So stimulants, they give you energy, they get your body kind of going. Caffeine and nicotine do this. So if you're taking them right before you're trying to sleep, it's doing the opposite of what you want, right? It's going to get you energized, and that's not going to help you get a good sleep. I know my personal rule is I am a coffee drinker, but I try and limit it. I don't drink coffee after noon. Anytime after 12, I typically don't drink coffee. If I ever do have a cup at night, sometimes I notice it where I have trouble falling asleep afterwards. So yeah, be very mindful of your caffeine levels, right? So it's not just coffee too, right? For all you pop drinkers out there, there's a lot of caffeine in Pepsi or Coke, right? Believe it or not. So yeah, those kind of things will keep you awake, and they're definitely not going to help you sleep. All right, you should also avoid alcohol. Try not to consume any alcohol 4 to 6 hours before sleep. So some people say, well, alcohol, it relaxes me. A couple beers or a glass of wine helps me. Yeah, it relaxes me and it helps me fall asleep. All right, and that might even be true, right? So sometimes alcohol will help you fall asleep initially, like at first, but the problem is that later on, it might disrupt the quality of your sleep later on, right? So even though you're falling asleep because you have a bunch of alcohol in your system, you might not get into the deep sleep, that you would really need to have a good healthy sleep, or often you'll wake up a couple hours later and not be able to get back to bed. So basically it disrupts the quality of your sleep, right? So you might be able to fall asleep better, but you're not going to have a really good sleep if you're consuming, a significant amount of alcohol. All right, another tip we have for you. We're saying no naps. We're going to suggest that you do not take naps, all right? Try your best not to take naps throughout the day because later on you may not be tired. This kind of ties into having a good sleep routine, right? So if you have a good sleep routine where you are going to bed and waking up at more or less the same time all the time, you shouldn't need to have a nap, right? You should be able to function throughout your day without a nap. And if you ever do have a nap, it's going to mess up that routine, right? So you're not going to be as tired when it's time when you actually want to go to sleep. I know I've experienced this myself. The odd time that I'm actually able to take a nap when the kids are away or something, I'll feel so good. I'll take a half hour or an hour nap, and then I'll be up for an extra 2 or 3 hours at night just because I can't get to sleep because I'm not used to that, right? All right. If you really can't make it through the day without a nap, try to nap before 3 p.m. and for less than 1 hour. So what's that saying? Maybe you really, really need a nap, right? If you need to do it early, before 3, and try to take less than an hour, right? So just a shorter nap. An ideal nap time is about 15 to 20 minutes. So you've heard of the cat nap, that's what it is, right? So often you might just need just a little time to recharge a little bit. So if you can just have a quick nap for 15 to 20 minutes, that should give you enough energy to keep going throughout your day. And a nap of that length won't disrupt your later on the deeper sleep that you need at nighttime. All right, you should exercise daily. All right, so studies have shown a strong connection between regular exercise and sleep quality. All right, and if you think about this makes sense, right? So if you're exercising throughout the day, you're burning more calories, you're burning more energy, so you're going to be more tired, right? You've just done more, your body's done more and it needs to recover. All right, also if you're using your muscles are going to be sore and you need to recover, right? So you're going to be more tired at nighttime if you're doing this, and you're going to sleep better. And your body's going to need it. So some suggestions: walk daily, take a daily walk around. And a suggestion they recommend intense exercise 2 to 3 times per week. All right, so this would be, on top of taking a daily walk, you could do a heavy run, maybe a big weight workout. So these are the intense exercises where you're breaking a sweat, your heart's beating, heart rate's getting up, it's working harder, right? All right, so if you do these kind of things, your body, you're going to be tired and you're going to sleep much better if you're tired. All right. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about a sleep routine right now. So we're talking here about the kind of things that you're doing just before you go to bed and the kind of things that kind of tells your body that it's time to go to sleep. Everybody has a different sleep routine, all right? And that's fine, right? Whatever works for you works for you. And what works for you might not work for somebody else. All right, so a sleep routine, it is whatever way you remind your body it's time for bed. All right, and this changes for everybody, right? So it could be, putting on your pajamas, that feel of the pajamas, your nightcap, whatever it is, right? So but you want to have a routine, and you want to have it. It gets you ready for bed. It tells your body that it is time for bed. Some suggestions: you might try some relaxing stretching. You might do some breathing exercises. It might be something like maybe taking 10 deep breaths or something before you lay down on your pillow. You might sip on a hot decaffeinated drink. All right, so a lot of people will do this. They like a cup of tea before bedtime, and that's great. The warmth of that warms up your body, makes you a little bit sleepy. Make sure it's decaffeinated though, whatever you're drinking there. If it is a tea, a lot of tea does have caffeine in it, so make sure you're picking like a sleepy time type of tea that does not have caffeine in it. You can turn on an air diffuser with calming scents. So some people will like that to help them sleep. Noise machines, I know this is often used with young children. I use them myself with my kids. When they would go to bed, there would be this noise machine that would make either like white noise, or it would make like ocean sounds or anything like that, and that would help the kids fall asleep. I actually know some adults who, when their kids were asleep, they would have these noise machines in their rooms. And as a parent, you often have like a baby monitor, so you can hear in there. So when you're sleeping, you're hearing hearing that noise machine as well, even though you're in a different room. But some of these adult friends of mine actually have noise machines in their rooms now, even though their kids don't use them anymore. But they just got used to having this white noise going when they're falling asleep. So now they have this noise machine in their room, and that's what helps them sleep. So it's just, it's become part of their sleep routine, and that works for them. So it's something you might consider if you're having trouble sleeping. Another tip, you might want to try and take a hot bath 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. All right, so the temperature from the bath will cause your body temperature to rise, which will make you sleepy. And research says sleepiness is associated with a drop in body temperature, right? So when we're getting ready for bed, when we're getting sleepy, like our body temperature kind of naturally goes down. And that's a cue that it's time to sleep, right? That's why a bath works, because when you're in a hot bath, your body temperature rises. And then as you get out of the bath and you start drying off and putting on your pajamas and all that stuff, your body temperature starts to drop. And that drop is telling your body that it's time to go to sleep, right? So it's a way to kind of trick your body into getting sleepy by taking a hot bath beforehand. Some more tips. All right. If you're on medication that you take before bed, make sure you are talking to your doctor about how it is making you feel, right? So meds definitely can affect, our sleep, right? And if you notice a difference, if you're on a new med and all of a sudden you find that you're having trouble sleeping, or you're not sleeping as well when you normally did, this is definitely something you should talk to your doctor about, right? Because there are meds out there that can help us sleep, but there's definitely some that can make it difficult for us to sleep. So talk to a medical expert about this. All right, so make an appointment if you feel your meds are not helping or hurting your sleep habits. All right. All right, other tips. All right, so this is basically the end of our class today about sleep hygiene. Other tips here, this is where I'd invite you to, if you have any suggestions that might help people to get a better sleep, please include them in the comments here. As we talked about, the things that work for some people to help them sleep aren't going to work for another person. Like, we're all different, we're all unique, and if we're having trouble sleeping, I know you're going to you're probably willing to try just about anything to help you sleep. So any tips, anything that works for you, please include that. Other people would definitely appreciate that sort of thing. Yeah, so that is our class on sleep hygiene. I hope it was useful for somebody. Like I said, if you're having trouble sleeping, maybe try some of the stuff that we talked about today. That's pretty much all we have for today. So I will thank you all for joining once again for this virtual class. I hope everybody is getting good sleep out there. And I hope you will all join another virtual class that we have in the future. And sweet dreams, everybody, until then. Thank you very much.